Hey everybody, we got a trail to clean up. Wait, I'm Rob from Stormcore Overland, where we talk about going on adventures, overlanding, camping, getting out and enjoying life. And on this week's episode, we're going to start packing up because we got a trail to clean up. Okay, so some of you may not know what's going on here. There's a trail that was mapped out by a guy named Jared Finley, who runs Sooner State Overland. He's got another Facebook group called Oklahoma Back Road Exploration Routes, and he's got a YouTube channel, it's West OK Overland. If if you follow me, you're probably already following him and know of him. If you don't know who he is or follow his stuff, dude, if you're in Oklahoma, especially central or western Oklahoma, you need to know this guy because he seems to know every campsite, every trail. Super nice guy, very helpful. Uh, Wants to get people out, wants to do things the right way. Great guy. So go follow him on some of those things. I'll make sure there's links down below too. But what he has done is when he has time, which is not all the time because he's a pretty busy guy like most of us, he goes out and maps kind of, they're not trails, he calls them routes. We don't have a whole lot of public land out here in Oklahoma, so he drove and found a bunch of interesting, scenic-y kind of dirt roads and stuff and sort of linked them together, and it's about a 100-mile loop out here around Hinton, Oklahoma. It's called the Sugar Creek Loop. It's neat. It's got some really neat spots. Um, but they're all technically, like I said, people call it a trail. I call it a trail. I call this a trail cleanup. It, they are all county roads. They're mostly unmaintained county roads. It's pretty much all dirt. Got some spots that have some fairly deep sand, which surprised me the first time I came out here. I didn't think of deep sand in Oklahoma. Uh, it's got a couple of sections that are a little steeper than a little more terrain fluctuation than I expected for out here in Oklahoma as well. Uh, Really, if you're in central Oklahoma or western Oklahoma, this is about one of the coolest drives you can do. But like I said, it's all county roads that run through private land. The very first time I'd never met Jared. I'd heard about this thing. I got the GPX file, came out by myself one day. Love the route. The route is amazing. It's just a neat, fun drive for a day. It's like I said, it's nothing challenging. It's nothing technical, but it's a fun, neat thing to do. But I was shocked at how much trash I saw. Just trash everywhere. And it always kind of stuck in the back of my head. Well, fast forward a year or two, I'm getting more involved with the overland community. I'm trying to do the YouTube channel. I'm running rigs and coffee and stuff. And I was like, man, we need something besides everyone show up and hang out at Rigs and Coffee, or everybody show up and hang out at a restaurant, or everybody show up and hang out at a brewery. We need to go do more. And we've tried doing a couple of trail rides. We've done a group ride out here at Sugar Creek. We've done some other things, but we really needed something different, something a little more. Try to get more people involved. And I was like, well, I think I had heard a podcast where it was either Tread Lightly or Overland Expo Foundation was talking about trail cleanups. And I'd seen some of the stuff that like the gambler people do and stuff. I was like, well, we need to maybe we could do something like that. So I kind of talked to a couple of my buddies out here. I was like, what do you think? And I got a lot of positive feedback, and I thought it was a good idea. So I said, all right, well, let's try to figure this out. Started trying to plan, picked a date in June, which typically in Oklahoma is very hot and dry. And of course, the very first time we had scheduled got rained out. We had a ton of rain. The roads were all wet. And if we went out there, we would have just tore the roads up. we don't want to do because, like I said, it's all through private land. These are the roads that people use to get home and get to work and go to the store. And we don't want to go out there and tear them up and rut them up. We're trying to build goodwill. We're trying to make things nicer and better, not tear stuff up and make people hate off-road people. So we had to kind of postpone, reschedule for 2 weeks out. And of course, we got more rain, but not nearly as much. I think we're going to be just fine. There'll be just enough rain to kind of keep the dust down, which will be A-okay with me. But in the process of planning this and thinking about it, and I had heard that like one of the podcasts, I can't remember what podcast it was or exactly which organization it was. Heard people talking about this, and well, I started kind of reaching out to some local businesses or groups or people I knew. I was like, hey, we're trying to do this. And I thought it'd be really neat if we could get some door prizes, just some little things to like help pass out. And like I reached out to Tate Davis at Overland Spices. He's up in Tulsa. I sent him a message saying, hey, this is what we're planning on doing. And he hooked us up with I think it's the Convoy. It's the full set of all three of the spices and a patch. And that was awesome of him. We got some other groups that donate different things. Worked with Onyx, and we got a really neat hat, which I don't even want to give away. Oh, it's in the back seat. I can't get to it. It says clean trash and haul ass. It's a neat green hat. It's made out of like recycled material. And I got it, and I was like, oh, I don't even want to give this away, but I'm gonna, because I can't keep it. I wouldn't feel right. But just kind of kept reaching out. We had like someone local that was like, oh, well, I can donate this. And Jared, that I mentioned that planned this whole thing, he donated something. And I got a buddy who runs a local vinyl wrap shop. He donated something. I'm very excited because we actually have someone pulling up. I got here early. I thought I'd be super early, but someone's actually here. So I'm going to try to show them where to park. Hang on one second. All right, so like I was saying, we were able to get a good amount of prizes. People started showing up. We had to start doing things, and I'll probably have a montage of photos and videos and stuff here. But at this point, the thing's over. We did it. You can tell my rig is a little dirtier because we were out on the trails. I would say as an event, especially as a trail cleanup event, it was an absolute success. For the first event I've ever really planned on my own, I say on my own, I had plenty of help. I had like lots of help. But the first event that I planned, I would say outstanding success. Hopefully everybody that was there would say the same thing. With that said, nothing ever goes perfect. I have lessons learned that I wrote down throughout the day. I was like, oh, should have thought of this. Oh, didn't think of this. Oh, this didn't work the way I thought. So that if I try to do another event in the future, I have a better understanding of how events work and how people work and how things are going to go, and just try to continue to make things better. Because just like with me with trying to figure these events out, it's the same with me with myself and me with the whole trail cleanup. Whole point is try to keep making everything better, whether it's to keep cleaning up trails or keep making events run better or keep making myself a better version of myself. It's all about making things better, continuous improvement. And you kind of have to identify your flaws and write them down sometimes and go, oh, this is what I need to work on. So yeah, the event, y'all don't care about that. I'm gonna make a whole separate video about lessons I learned running an event. But so this is the meat and potatoes of what happened. We cleaned up. So first off, we had 8 rigs show up. We had 10 people. I had 10 and a half. Someone brought their kid, which was funny. It was great having the kid around too. So I guess technically 11 people with 8 rigs. We cleaned up 75 miles of trail, approximately. We didn't exactly measure, but it was about 75 miles of trail. And we collected 600 pounds of trash, multiple tires, a plastic 55-gallon drum, plastic buckets. We found an entire barbecue grill, bags and bags of just aluminum cans and glass bottles and to-go containers and just so much stuff. I mean, we had at least 4 pickup trucks, and all 4 of those pickup trucks, the beds of all 4 of those trucks was completely full of trash. The other 4 vehicles were SUVs and or Jeeps, depending on how you want to count a Jeep. And they all had at least a bag of trash in them. And we're talking the big, like, hefty contractor bags. We had a lot of trash that we picked up. Everyone got to, the highlight of this particular route or trail, or however you want to look at it, is a section called Purgatory Road. And I was a little worried because we did have some more, we had rain again the night before. I was worried Purgatory Road was going to be too rough and not everybody was going to be able to do it. We had I think 2 people in pretty much stock rigs. No problems. Everyone made it up without an issue. The road was in pretty good shape. wasn't too slick. Wasn't too rutted out. Didn't. No one had any vehicle problems the whole time. It was great. Uh, I'd like to say we had a nice mix of vehicles, but it was all Toyotas and Jeeps. It's just kind of how it goes. We had a 4Runner, and a Lexus SUV. I forget which Lexus SUV it was. 3 Tacomas, a Tundra, Grand Cherokee, and a 4-door Jeep. I don't know all the Jeep codes. Sorry, I don't have my decoder ring. But overall, the fact that 10 people, 11 if you count the kid, and I should count the kid.
So I've got Rob's GoPro here. He made the mistake of letting me have it. So I just wanted to take a second here and remind everybody, if you haven't already, to be sure and click that subscribe button down there and ring that bell to get notifications. He's got a pretty cool channel. He does a lot of good content. He does a lot of good work for us here in Oklahoma. So be sure and support him. Follow him on Instagram and all that stuff. All of his podcast platforms. But yeah, having fun with Rob's GoPro here.
Okay, so you probably noticed there was kind of an abrupt change there. It's a different day. I'm wearing a different shirt. Hopefully I look a little fresher. I was not lying to you when I was talking about how hot it was. I was recording and I was trying to finish up the video, and it got so hot my phone shut off. So it's the next day. I've had a little bit of time to think. I'm not nearly as hot and exhausted. I'll just kind of wrap this up real quick. Basically, I've kind of mentioned it, but it's all kind of spread out throughout the video. 8 rigs, 10 people, 75 miles of trail, about almost $500 worth of door prizes that we had donated. On top of the grant from Tread Lightly to cover a lot of the supplies and stuff like that. 75 miles of trail, 600 pounds of trash. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you to everyone that was involved. Special thanks to everybody that supported this. Tread Lightly, thank you very much. You made this a much more successful endeavor. Rat Pro's okay. Thank you so much for donating, the big prize for the door prize stuff. Big thanks to Gerald Finley and / Sooner State Overland / Oklahoma Backroad Explorations / West OK Overland for donating the prize, for outlining the Sugar Creek Loop, for doing all the weird little stuff in the background to kind of help me with all this, and recording that little secret video for me that I didn't know when you picked my GoPro up for me. And also thanks to Onyx Off-Road for donating prizes, and special thanks to Tate Davis at Overland Spices for donating some prizes there. I always appreciate folks in Oklahoma supporting stuff here in Oklahoma. That's always great. And then finally, thanks to everybody that came out and actually did the cleanup themselves. So Matt, Jerome, Crystal, Jared, Ben, Steve, Joey, Steve's wife Dawn, Joey's wife Kayla. Thanks. John Luis, thank you too for showing up too and meeting us out there. It was a great day. We couldn't have done this without y'all. You will forever know that if nothing else, y'all made a positive difference in the world that day. And remember that if you're having a day, if you're feeling down later this week or next month or even next year, think back to what we did and the 600 pounds of trash we picked up. Y'all made the world a better place. You set a good example. You made a difference, and I couldn't have done it without y'all. This was amazing. I just kind of organized things a little bit, and y'all did all the stuff. That was great. I don't want to ramble too much. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed some of the little pictures and videos I've kind of spliced in here throughout the thing. If you're watching this on YouTube, just realize we also release the audio as a podcast. You can find it wherever good podcasts are found. Just search for Stormcrow Overland. If if you are listening to this as a podcast, we also have the video. If you want to watch it, you can go on YouTube, just search for Stormcrow Overland. And finally, you can also find us on Instagram at Stormcrow Overland. On any of those platforms, I would greatly appreciate a like, comment, follow, subscribe, share, send me a message, any of that kind of stuff. I'd love to just hear what you're thinking about one of the videos, or if you've just got a question for me, or you want to hear me talk about something, or you've got some feedback, anything like that. I love hearing from folks. It's always a good time. That's really about it. Yeah, we'll be looking forward to next week's video. That'll probably be about the lessons I learned from doing all this. I'm trying to think. I think that's it. So that's really all I've got for you. Sometimes you have to go out and get lost with a great group of people and pick up a lot of trash before you can find yourself. Thanks for watching.